What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Hot Takes. Today we're taking a look at some of your thoughts on Monday Night Raw from last night. So we're gonna roll right into this thing because I'm off to TwitchCon in about 24 hours. So before we get anywhere, make sure you leave a like on this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on, and let's get right into your hot takes. Every week after Monday Night Raw, I get you to submit your hot takes, predictions, thoughts, or whatever else you want to share with the group over on X at Conman167. So if you'd like to be featured in this video in the future, be sure to follow me over there. Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman needs to be on Bad Blood. Make it a street fight or a last man standing match. I'm going to take this one step further. I think that this is a great idea, making it some sort of street fight or last man standing match, but it needs to be branded something special. And these two guys are monsters in that ring. Like, outside of just being big dudes, they are actually scary, scary individuals who could kill literally anybody if they wanted to. Let's make this a last monster standing match. To me, that's a good enough matchup to have at Bad Blood. It should probably be on a PLE. And of course, with them leaving the ring and destroying walls and cars and everything, like, you can't just have a regular match between these two guys now. Like, that's gone. That's sailed away. We got to have some sort of match where it's either like a Falls Count Anywhere, a street fight that, I don't know, is knockout only, or probably the better one is the last man standing match. So book it, Trips. Make this the last monster standing. It's sad to see the New Day splitting up, but they have told the story so incredibly well, and they managed to do it despite not having Odyssey in the mix anymore. See, this is where it concerns me with the whole Odyssey Jones and the New Day fiasco that is going on, because it certainly seemed like the partnership was going to be Kofi Kingston and Odyssey Jones, and it was going to be Xavier Woods, and there was going to be some sort of split between them. Now, without Odyssey, I wonder if Kofi or Xavier are going to be lost in the shuffle once they get the split going. And like, part of me was wondering, were they going to turn Kofi Kingston heel alongside of Odyssey Jones? I am in the minority with this one. Everybody I've mentioned it to wasn't on board with it. They're like, why would Kofi Kingston go heel? But the reality of it all is that Kofi Kingston's kind of in the wrong and Xavier Woods is in the right. And Xavier Woods kind of has a good place to stand on with all of this. Xavier Woods is left in the dark. Kofi Kingston is making all these decisions without Xavier Woods' approval. Not even needing approval, but he's not even running it past the man. The fact that the LWO knew about the plan before Xavier Woods is mind-boggling. Kofi Kingston, what are you doing? Like, you are actually driving a wedge between you and your almost 10-year-long tag team partner. Xavier Woods deserves better. Like, honestly, Kofi Kingston is the bad dude in this scenario. Xavier Woods might be growing tired of it, and he is closer to snapping than Kofi is snapping on Xavier. But the reality of it is, just because Xavier Woods is rocking a different color doesn't necessarily mean he is going to be the bad guy in all of this. Like, Kofi Kingston actually has won WWE Championship Gold. He's been to the mountaintop before, and I wonder if they're going to try to push that man back up to that level. Like, again, when I bring up Odyssey Jones, I was kind of envisioning a Kofi Kingston and Odyssey Jones heel pairing that has this big dude beside a smaller dude like Kofi Kingston. It probably would work really well. But now that that's not happening, I'm incredibly concerned what's going to happen with this heel turn. Like, do we just turn Xavier Woods and then have a feud with Kofi Kingston? Maybe have Big E as a special guest referee, and then that's it? Like, where do we go from there? Is this going to elevate Xavier Woods up to the mid-card title? Is it going to elevate Kofi Kingston to a mid-card title? Are they going to be pushed to the World Championship picture? It doesn't feel like it. Like, maybe the mid-card for Xavier would be fine, but like, are we really going to split up this legendary tag team without elevating them to the world title picture? To me, I don't think you should, especially when you have matches like you did on Monday Night Raw, where it's the New Day versus Judgment Day, and it's a certified banger. Those guys went out there and crushed it, and if you now remove the New Day from the tag team division, what is already a weak division becomes weaker, and I just don't know if this is the right time for it. Now, I will say this, Triple H doesn't like to strike while the iron's hot. He likes to drag it out, and he likes to wait for the right moment, and I feel like this could be one of those wait and see with the New Day. Like, he might get a year into this and then pull the trigger, almost similar to the Judgment Day breaking up, put the seeds of dissension early on and then split them later on. It feels like maybe that's the direction we're heading in. And if so, the goal has to be elevate the New Day to a point where you could see them competing for gold, not tag team gold, singles gold. Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker for the IC title being on an episode of Raw is ridiculous. At least let us think Jey could possibly win. If this was at a pay-per-view, do you think Jey could win? Because I certainly don't. Look, Jey Uso deserves so much love. Like, this guy is great. In fact, I gotta put on the glasses for all of this, all right? Like, he is beloved by the fans, and the fans just want to see Jey Uso actually get something going. They want to see him move towards a mid-card title or a world title, or at least be involved with something that isn't just a throwaway story on the show. They want more for Jey Uso. But whether it be Monday Night Raw or Bad Blood or Survivor Series, I just don't feel like Jey Uso is the guy right now to take the IC title. As much as I would love to see this man get featured more and more and be in top tier feuds, it doesn't look like he is going to be that guy right now. I said this in the previous episode of Hot Takes, that it feels like we're spinning our tires with Jey Uso because we're just waiting to get to the War Games match with the Bloodline. Like, I still believe that Jey Uso is going to be involved with Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and one of Sami Zayn or Cody Rhodes inside of War Games. Like, I think that is the group going up against the new Bloodline. And if that is the case, well, then Jey Uso shouldn't be holding on to mid-card gold. He should be directed his attention over there to the Bloodline story. Now, obviously, we can't get him there yet. It's too early. But it's going to happen soon. And so I feel like what they're doing right now is they're just trying to throw a bone to Jey Uso, get him on TV, keep him in people's minds, because he's about to enter such a bigger story and something with more implications than just the Intercontinental title match against Bron Breakker. So yeah, disappointing this isn't a pay-per-view match. It would be nice to see it on a PLE, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to main event Raw. And Bron Breakker getting a main event spot against Jey Uso is not a bad thing. Ludwig is awesome on the mic and great in the ring as well. The man deserves an IC title run. Yeah, you know what? I think this is something I can get behind. It doesn't feel like he's going to get the IC championship anytime soon, but it would be a really cool story for Ludwig to be one of those guys that rises up the card. And there was just a slight moment on Monday Night Raw where it seemed like they were teasing the idea of Gunther versus Ludwig. And if that's the long-term plan, like if they're looking a year out from now and saying, hey, we want Ludwig versus Gunther, how do we get here? It seems like they're making the right choices right now. They're taking the right steps to move Ludwig forward in his career. Because you are right, he's awesome on the microphone, he's great in the ring, he's got the look, he's got the presentation. Everything is kind of going for Ludwig Kaiser right now. And I think WWE's doing a great job at not overexposing him, but at the same time not treating him like a second to Gunther. He's his own individual, and when he shows up, people actually react to him, not just because Gunther's about to come out, right? So good stuff happening for Ludwig right here, and I do imagine he'll be an Intercontinental Champion at some point in his career. Bianca versus Iyo was a top 5 women's match of the year for WWE. So this is interesting being a top 5 women's match of the year. I don't think you're that far off. I was just kind of looking at some of the matches that have happened this year, and Bayley and Iyo Sky at WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, the women's Elimination Chamber match. There was a couple in NXT like Jordan Grace versus Roxanne Perez, or, oh goodness me, what about... Oh, Jada Parker versus Michin was a great match down in NXT, but I see what you're saying. They're not that far off, right? There was the triple threat match at Backlash between Bayley, Naomi, and Tiffany. That was pretty damn good. Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax on Monday Night Raw. That main event was pretty solid. So, like, I don't know if I would consider this the top 5 women's match of the year, but I do think it's safe to say it falls within the top 10. It was a very, very good episode of Monday Night Raw with a great women's match on it, and I think that women's match was the best match on the card. It was the best one of the bunch, and so yeah, it is pretty easy to sit here and say with recency bias that was a top 5 women's match of the year, but I can say confidently it's a top 3 TV match of the year from the women. I like, again, there was some really good matches down in NXT on free TV, but regardless, this is like one of the best matches that the women have produced on Monday Night Raw all year. It was fantastic. I can't say enough good things about Bianca Belair and Iyo Sky. They went out there and they just crushed it. So all kudos to them. It was a great matchup. Gunther is the heel in WWE right now, from his slow, methodical moveset to his perfect henchman in Kaiser, to the hilarious smile and his laugh towards his opponents. It does not get better than the Inganal right now. I mean, where's the lie? This is spot on. Gunther is just an incredible World Heavyweight Champion, and everything that he's done with the Intercontinental Championship was just a warm-up for this world title run. He is crushing it right now. Gunther is just firing on all cylinders. And you're right, everything that he does is perfect. He's gotten so much better as a character. Like, don't get me wrong, the IC Championship run was great, but this is a different beast right here. Gunther has found a way to step his game up on the mic, which has just made him an absolute menace. Like, I can't get over some of the stuff that he has said so far on the microphone. It's just actual top tier heel work. Saying that Goldberg is his favorite to Bret the Hitman Hart is a wild, savage thing. And now here he is just constantly rejecting Sami Zayn, even though Sami Zayn was the last man to beat this guy. Okay, you know what? This is time for a con man hot take right here. I have had enough of the internet telling me that Sami Zayn is stealing all these spots, and Sami Zayn isn't believable, and Sami Zayn doesn't deserve this spot against Gunther. Hello? Who was the last man to beat him? Hello? Who was the last guy to take the IC title from him? Hello? Who beat him at WrestleMania? Like, what is the internet on saying Sami Zayn doesn't deserve this spot? People be saying that he's not a believable challenger here to Gunther when he literally beat the man. And the NPCs out there saying Sammy Hogan steals the spot again don't realize how good we have it with Sami Zayn. And yes, okay, fair. I've got a cardboard cutout of Sami Zayn in the background, so maybe I'm a little biased, but he is incredible at everything he does. His mic work is great. His believability is great with the fans. He's an underdog going up against a beast of a world heavyweight champion, and every time he steps in the ring, he delivers. Sami Zayn is one of the best in the world. It's time to put some respect on his name. It's time to get behind Sami Zayn. Like, look, I'm a Sami Zayn mark. I know I am, but like, I am going into this match being like, yeah, I know Sami's probably not going to win, but it's going to be a great story that needs to be told. The chink in the armor of Gunther is Sami Zayn. The only blemish on his record is Sami Zayn. For Gunther to move forward with this World Heavyweight title run, he has to beat Sami Zayn. It is logical. It makes sense. It doesn't need to be this whole, oh my God, somebody else deserves it like Jey Uso. Jey Uso is doing other stuff right now, and sure, would he be able to face him and get the job done? Absolutely he could. But at the end of the day, that's not the story they're telling. They're telling right now Sami Zayn versus Gunther, and Gunther needs to beat Sami, even though it's almost like Sami Zayn is the one who has made Gunther scared of him. Like, Gunther is terrified of Sami Zayn, so much so to the fact that he won't actually take this match. Why is he scared of him? Because Sami Zayn is the only one to beat him. Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title is a great idea, and don't let the internet tell you different. If Braun Strowman is the next person in the Wyatt 6 to go next, I would personally just want Bo and Eric to be around Braun the next few weeks and try to recruit him. If that happens, I think Eric needs to be the one to carry around the black sheep mask when Braun is near. This is obviously in reference to the QR code that we saw on Monday Night Raw that opened up that journal that we saw in the past from the Wyatt 6. There was a new entry at the very bottom, and it seemed to hint towards Braun Strowman joining the Wyatt 6. The main reason people are saying that it's Braun is because they talk about a brother and something about a freight train and yada yada yada. There's some hints that lead us towards Braun Strowman, and I do believe that Braun could be on his way back into the Wyatt 6, or at the bare minimum feuding with the Wyatt 6. Like, if we're looking who are they going to feud with next, Braun could be a guy, or he could be a guy they're trying to recruit. I don't really know which direction they're going to go in. Probably the recruition, because they said that we're here for you, brother. You know, I feel like they're still going to be on Braun Strowman's side, and they're going to be trying to recruit this man into their group. Simply put, because he's got all the history with Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan and all of that, right? So it does make sense to try to bring Braun in, and right now he's also kind of alone dealing with this monster known as Jake TV 72. You just have to have some help sometimes. You have to have some friends in WWE, and Braun Strowman could use some friends against this big tsunami man. So maybe it's going to happen, Probably after Bad Blood, I'm assuming, but we'll see. I like the flow throughout the show. My nitpick, however, is that Judgment Day and Terror Twins are overexposed. I like them, but they have too many segments. And see, this is something that a lot of wrestling fans like to do when somebody is getting over and being presented in a very strong way. They like to say that we don't need that much of them on TV. Meanwhile, they're like the best part of the show. Judgment Day, Terror Twins, everything going on with that group, it is a main event angle, no matter if you want to believe it or not. It's involving two of the most popular baby faces WWE has, and involving one of the most hated groups that WWE has, if not the most hated group that they have when you have Dom and Liv a part of that. This is a great story for Raw, and when you have 3 hours of TV to fill, yeah, what are you going to fill it with? You're going to fill it with backstage segments, certainly when you have this many personalities involved together, right? Like, it's not just the Terror Twins, it's not just Dom and Liv, but then you also have Finn, Carlito, and JD McDonough to add into this story. There's a lot of different dynamics at play, and so yeah, it should be taking up a good portion of Monday Night Raw. But you do have to walk that line. You got to be careful not to truly overexpose them. And I think what people start to get tired of is seeing somewhat similar ends to Monday Night Raw. I mean, it's been the biggest complaint anytime the Bloodline stands tall at the end of SmackDown. It's been the biggest complaint anytime that the Judgment Day stands tall. I mean, it was their biggest complaint when they were a whole unit, right? Anytime that they ended a show on top, people were like, oh, this is boring. Oh, enough of the Judgment Day. Oh, they're getting too much TV time. And it's like, this is just the story that we're telling, and it's kind of integral to the story to be able to get to the next part that we need, right? This was a beatdown. This was the ending of Monday Night Raw. Finn Balor getting his a little bit won over on Damian Priest before they have their big match at Bad Blood. I like the direction. I think that this is the right call, but you are right at the same time. Don't overexpose them too much. And once we cut down to 2 hour Monday Night Raws, I think everybody will be like, oh, give us more Terror Twins, as opposed to, we saw them a lot. That intense promo with Jey and Braun was fire as hell, man. Jey tore right into Braun with that NFL dig, and all I can say is Jey is winning that IC title 10,010%. It's happening. I am not taking anything away from Braun. He is a great champion, but Jey is so over with the fans. Jey needs this win. And back come on the eat glasses. Jey Uso is a very difficult character to figure out right now what he should and shouldn't be doing. It would be cool to see him hold on to the mid-card title. As I mentioned before, it'd be great, but it just doesn't feel like it's his time right now. He feels like he is going to do other things in like a month's time, and so it wouldn't really be worth it to put the IC title on him. Now, if they did, hell, I think a lot of people would be extremely happy. It would almost be like sacrificing Bron Breakker for Jey Uso, which isn't the worst thing if they did, especially if Bron Breakker is able to follow it up with like even more anger and move up that card. Like, they are kind of positioning him more and more as a babyface, so they might actually be looking to build him up to go up against Gunther. And if that's the case, then man, dude, you might actually have a case to take the title off of off of Bron Breakker and put it onto Jey Uso so that Bron Breakker can go face Gunther. It could happen. I don't think it's going to happen. It would be lovely, but Jey Uso has other stuff going on in about a month's time, I believe. So yeah, it doesn't look very likely for this one. Xavier should not turn heel until after they celebrated the New Day's 10-year anniversary, since it's so close. Turning him heel after the episode of the anniversary celebration, or even on the episode of the celebration, would be better. I actually love this. I don't know exactly when the 10-year anniversary is, but that would be a great way to do it. Bring Big E into the ring. Bring Kofi into the ring. Bring Xavier Woods into the ring. Have the big 10-year celebration. Literally build it up as a festival of friendship. Make it this huge ordeal, and then do the turn. Look, if we're splitting the New Day, my heart's going to break. Your heart's going to break. Everybody's hearts are going to break. It's one of the greatest tag teams of all time. One of the most legendary tag teams of all time. They deserve a proper send-off if they're going to split them. Again, this is where I start to question, are they going to actually turn Xavier Woods? Like, this is a lot of, look over here, this guy is bad, this guy is mad, this guy is angry, he's got a point. But, like, something tells me, man, that we're turning Kofi. I don't know what it is. Just the way that this story is going, Kofi Kingston is in the wrong. right? Kofi Kingston is not doing everything right. He is actually being shady to Xavier Woods. If Xavier Woods is the guy to turn, like, it almost could have a Becky Lynch effect where the fans get really behind him because, hey, he's justified in his turn. The New Day has always been about Kofi Kingston and then Big E and not necessarily about Xavier Woods. He was the afterthought. Even during like the entire run towards Kofi Mania, Xavier Woods was second to Big E. And now that Big E is gone, Kofi Kingston saying stuff like it's just us? It's just us? Are you kidding me? Just us? Your 10-year-long tag team partner and it's just us? Dude, put some respect on Xavier Woods' name. All I'll say right now is that if Xavier Woods turns tomorrow, I think I'm on his side. I don't think I'm behind Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston is in the wrong in this scenario and owes Xavier Woods an apology. If he goes out there and apologizes to Xavier, and he truly means it, and Xavier doesn't accept his apology, then I'm like, okay, I think I'm behind Kofi now because he heard what Xavier had to say, but Xavier Woods would be blinded by rage and hatred, which is just too categoristics. What the hell is that word? Characteristics. There we go. Holy, those are some characteristics of Xavier Woods that he doesn't generally possess. He's not generally a bitter guy. He's not an angry man. He's generally fun, happy, and go-loving. What the hell is happening in my mouth? Happy-go-lucky and fun-loving is what I was trying to say. Dear Lord, why is this so difficult to speak? But at the end of the day, if you are behind Xavier Woods, let me know why. If you're behind Kofi Kingston, let me know why in the comments below. But as of now, if the split happened tomorrow, I'm on Team Xavier. Sami should beat Gunther, but he should get a short title reign as Gunther could come back angrier and more unhinged, reclaiming his title and going on a spree of unhinged beatdowns. See, I feel like this is counterproductive to the story that we are telling right now. Sami's already beat Gunther, right? This is the rematch. This is where Gunther should just destroy Sami Zayn. Like, I don't think it should be like a 5-minute match or anything, but if you told me it was similar to Bron Breakker versus Sami Zayn for the IC title, I could get behind that. Look, this is one of those things where I hear Sami Zayn beating Gunther. I'm like, ooh, I kind of want it. But like then my actual brain kicks in and I'm like, hold up. No, Gunther has a legendary run ahead of him, and Sami Zayn, he would just get a short title run. It would be the moment of Sami Zayn winning the title from Gunther, but he wouldn't hold on to it forever, right? That's just not what would happen. Now, the idea of him beating him in a one-off and then Gunther coming back and taking the title back from Sami Zayn isn't the worst idea, but like, aren't we adding a little bit of prestige to Gunther? Isn't he trying to add prestige to the belt similar to what he did with the IC title? If we just took the title off of him and then hot potatoed it back onto Gunther, I feel like that has a counterproductive direction, you know? It's just not the best idea, I would say. And this is not me trying to crap on your suggestion right here, but I just think Sami Zayn should probably lose to Gunther, because Gunther needs to right the wrongs of his loss at WrestleMania to Sami Zayn. So, cool idea, but nah. But those were your hot takes. Let me know yours down in the comments below. And then also, while I have you here, I want to remind you that if you happen to be in San Diego for TwitchCon, make sure you stop by the wrestling panel on Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. It'll be myself, Mr. Santi Zap, Wheezy Blonde, Sancho West, and Girls Play TV talking about pro wrestling with all of you. If you have any questions, any thoughts on the business, anything at all, come by and listen to us yap about pro wrestling. We're going to nerd out together and it's going to be great. And if you're not actually able to be there in person, they will be live streaming it on the actual Twitch page if you would like. Once again, that is at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you check it out this Friday. But that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe. Go ahead and tell everybody about this channel because Conman uploads wrestling videos every single day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care and have a good one.